Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 2 of the 2024 series Ultimate X-Men. Now, as you know, the new Ultimate X-Men comics takes a break away from the whole Charles Xavier Gifted School for Mutants thing, but focus on a Japanese setting with the ultimate version of the character armor in a story that's obviously meant to be inspired by Death Note, Uzumaki, and the author of the series Uzumaki's Ghost-like novels. And yeah, we're now on issue 2, and the cover is meant to feature the character May, who's obviously meant to be the series version of Storm, but completely different. So the story mainly starts off where Hatsuko is in her room, trying to kind of figure out everything that's happened back in issue 1. And yeah, looking at these shadowy cracks lets her past demons get the better of her. And remembers the time where, yeah, Tatsuba says, thanks for ditching school with me, Hatsuko. Don't worry about it, Tatsuba. I'm surprised you wanted to. Still, today is a good day for it. And we see how he points out that, yeah, he wants to kind of ditch school. But we kind of see how Hitsuko, like any child, thinks that's kind of awesome, but never really stopped to see why Tatsuba wanted to leave school. And this is like when you're younger, a little more foolish and that, and you wonder way back when if you had been a little more responsible and took other people's feelings and that for consideration. And we see how she looks up from the sky, sees the same like shadow-like creature, and realizes something's wrong. And we see how her mum asks, yeah, if she's going to be going out, and says to remember to get some eggs, and don't forget a bag, because they'll charge her for the plastic. And this can happen to anyone, because obviously plastic bags do get charged now, and you have to kind of pay what bags you get. And we see how after journeying away, getting the eggs, we see how she meets her newfound friend May, and this is where they do the typical anime cliche, where character meets their future friend, they're gonna have a punkish style, there's something about them that you later learn about, and they're meant to be a foil to the main hero, but they later become the sort of whole Blue Ranger to the group. And we see her saying, I don't think so. I'm May, what's your story? You can trust me. I'll show you my secret. Look. She sings even though she doesn't have berries. Cute. And we kind of see how Hatsuko shows, obviously May, the letter that she got, a abandoned school and that. And obviously, like the style of Uzumaki and those other stories, the character goes to the abandoned school, something goes wrong, character reveals their secret, and so forth. And obviously Hatsuko and May journey into the abandoned building, see what's going on, and they find something on the ground. And we see how even Hatsuko is a little turned off by what May's picked up, until a security guard says, Hey, you kids can't be in here. This property is off limits. What is this? Some kind of stunt? You're making a ghost video? And to be fair, yeah, if you are a security guard, a watchman, or yeah, working at a hotel and that, and if people are doing videos or dangerous stunts and that, then yeah, you're going to be justifiably furious that they are kind of causing a lot more trouble than they should, until they hear something, they open the door, some weird ceremony's going on, and they see the shadow creature saying, Hello, Hitsuko. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Once again, you know the three boys who killed Tatsuba. You won't see them around anymore. I wanted to let you know. And of course, they point out that, yeah, it's him, until they see the security guard turns into a worm-like creature saying, Who's a killer? Run! And of course, we see how May uses her kind of powers, and right away this is Hatsuko realizing she's a lot like her. And of course, they make a quick getaway after sacrificing, yeah, the eggs that her mum wanted, And of course they say, "Oh shoot, the egg's for my mum." And we see how from the school to an unknown building, we see how a guy says, "Why? That girl, I know her face from somewhere. Hatsuko." And obviously, yeah, like any story from Uzumaki, character meant to be an antagonistic foil. There's an obsession going on. They later reveal why they do it and become the main foil to the main hero. And we see how at the high school entrance ceremony, Hatsuko is with the other students, and the same can be with any kind of secondary school, college, or so forth. You have a little presentation, the teachers kind of give you the introduction, and right away we see how Hatsuko meets up with Mei, and turns out they're now going to the same school, leaving the events up to the next issue. And yeah, we got an introduction to the whole thing about autonomy and science classroom. And I think much like how Japan has something similar, I think any classes in colleges and universities have the same, like a model skeleton, specimens and that for animals, and obviously having the things like dissecting frogs and that to understand the human body, the animal body, and so forth. And yeah, this is the story. So I think issue 2 isn't too bad, but it's obviously going through the whole anime cliche tropes, like having a character who's a little more over the board dress, they end up meeting each other right away, they end up going into some abandoned building, they learn about their powers and so forth, and it's obviously relying on those anime cliches. But it's definitely good, definitely readable, but definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, comic reviewer here, signing out.